Today we're making a coil pot. So the first step in making a coil pot is doing your coil. When you guys roll the coil, roll it on your fingertips, because if you roll it with the palms of your hands, you'll flatten out the coil and it will not be as nice of a coil, okay? So, and see how I'm working it across it and finding if this part's a little thicker, I roll right there a little bit. So I'm trying to keep it even so that it's all one coil. We also want to make sure that the coil is thicker than a pencil. If it's thicker than the pencil, it's good, but it can't really be thicker than your thumb. If it's too thick, it won't work well. If it's too thin, it won't work well. So that's a good size for your coil. The next step is you're going to make the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score the clay with the toothbrush, which is just roughing it up so it'll attach to each other better. And then I'm going to roll it into a spiral, nice and tight. We want it waterproof. We don't want it to have any leaks. So I'm going to roll it up to the size you want your pot. So this pot, I think I might make a vase or a bowl. So this is a kind of a good size for that. So once it's like this, we want to make sure it's really attached. So I'm going to wet my fingers and I'm smoothing the coils together.
Okay, then we roll it out another piece, and then we
Okay. Once I have this all smoothed out, this is when it's important, once you smooth it out, to pick it up off the table because it's going to feel kind of stuck. And before you start putting the walls on, you want to make sure you get that fixed first, peeled off the table so it doesn't get stuck. Okay? So now that it's pretty much, if it feels like it's not sticking well when you pull it up, then just smooth the other side too. That's up to you. Okay, remember, the next coil I make, when I attach it, you need to make sure that you score it so it attaches well. Roll your coil out. Keep rolling. I'm trying to make this one big coil all fixed up. Okay, then score it again. I'm going to start on the top of my okay, and then I'm going to wind this coil up right on top of each other on. Then I'm going to take that end off. Once I have this, now I'm going to smooth the coils together. So I have a smooth pot. Now, as we continue our coil pots, we're going to add coils to our coil pot. And the way this works is you're going to have to score between coils. You should have smoothed all the coils out that you've already attached, like this, so the edges are all smooth. Now, when you add more coils, what you're going to want to do is you got to decide, is it going to go straight up like a cylinder? Is it going to come in kind of like a vase or something? Or is it going to go out a little bit like a bowl? Okay? And what you do, if you want it to go out, you're going to put, let me score my coil. It's not the best coil. If I want it to go slightly out, I'm going to stick it on the kind of the outer side of the last coil. And what this will do is start moving it, as you can see, start moving it so it moves to the outside of the coil, will make all the coils start fanning out this way. Okay? So if I want it to go out, okay, you see how it already is going to start turning outwards? If I add another coil to that, my coils will start to fan outwards. Always scoring. I'm going to score the top. I score with the toothbrush with a little water. That creates like a slip. I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to go slightly on the outside of my last coil, and it's going to slowly go to the outside. So now, as you can see, I blend that one in. But you see how I'm going to start blending in my coils, each coil I do? That way, it'll be neater when I do it. Now, if you want it to go in, you're kind of doing the opposite. If you want it to just go straight up, you're lining them up perfectly so that it becomes a cylinder. Okay, and just with these two coils, you can see how this one is already starting to bow out. So it's like a bowl. Okay? Does that make sense? If I want it to go in, I'm taking my coils and putting it slightly on the inside of the coils, and then it'll get smaller and smaller. So Christian was thinking of doing something that came out. It's going to come out and then go in. He's going to start by making that bowl shape, and then he's going to start making it so that it starts going in. So with this one, remember your coil should be thicker than a pencil, thinner than your thumb. Okay? So if I have this guy, I'm going to make him come in. If this one's coming in, it's going slightly on the inside. And then I'm smoothing this together like this. Always smoothing my coils in. Now, if I'm making a bowl, I might want these coils smoothed in as well, if I'm going to see the inside of it a lot. And I can smooth these coils in as well. Okay? So this one is a coil going inwards. And I'm just smearing it. I am not pinching it. Because if you start pinching the clay, if I pinch this coil, if I pinch it, see how uneven it gets and how it gets so thin where I pinched it? That's not a good thing to do, because then your walls will get really thin in certain places and be fat in other places. So you don't want to do that. Okay, if I go in further with this one, and you can already see how this one is starting to come inward. Okay? If you end up pinching something, we need to fix it before you start adding more clay to it, because otherwise it's going to be really weak in one place and fall apart on you. So no pinching. You can smear the clay across, but you don't want to pinch. I'm always supporting the clay with my other hand while I'm pushing on it. Okay, so you can see on this one is definitely working its way in, while this one is working its way out and fanning out. Okay.